起了吗？要开始了吗？好，那我们今天就开始 Maker 的教育训练了。
Do you all understand English? If I speak slowly, stop me and ask me any questions you have, because it's so much easier. Otherwise, Wendy will translate a little, I think.
Okay. 就反正有问题就跟我讲。
Did any of you go to Taipei when I was there?
你们谁听过他在台北的教育训练？
No.
都没有人吗？去年的9月份都没有，来过2次。
有在秦山的时候吗？
那在卡萨。
那卡萨我就没有。
Okay. Well, then that's good, because then you cannot say, well, he said something different last time. So, my name is Ole. I work for 2 brands from Denmark, and one of them is Mata. And I've been here a couple of times since you started carrying the line in Taipei, and now I've just seen this beautiful showroom. It's a very big surprise to see this. It looks fantastic. Mata is, I don't know if you're familiar with the company. You have it in the store downstairs, the bar stools and the small bowl tables. And hold on, this goes in the microphone, sorry. But I'll try and tell you a little bit about the company and how it was started, and the philosophy of Mata, which is a little bit unique. Mata means mother in Latin, and there is a reason for this. Mata was founded in 2006, 2007 by Henrik Marstrand, and he had this idea of trying to create furniture with an environmentally friendly approach. So a long time before, before it became popular, I think today a lot of manufacturers, thank you, have an idea of being sustainable and using recycled materials and things like that. But Mata started doing that way before it became modern. It's only good that most companies do it today, but the basic idea came from Henrik together with an Indian designer, Ayush Kashiwal. He's also designed the bowl table you have downstairs. And then a Danish design person called Thomas Lykke. So together the 3 of them said, let's try and create something which is produced in a way that treats our environment as well as possible. And that means using wood that is certified, that has this FSC certification, which is a non-profit organization that makes sure that when you use wood, it's replanted, or when you use materials, that it's actually replaced with something when you use it.
他说这个公司的话，他们就是跟一般的北欧的公司不太一样，是因为它比较注重资源的有序利用，所以它是从走设计跟工艺技法，还有伦理道德方面，所以它选择的木头是经过一个机构叫 FSCTM 的机构，那是一个森林资源管理协会，那它是一个非营利集团。然后他们那些设计师创始人，他是在认识一个印度那边的一个设计师，然后设计师他们就是喜欢使用是经过认可一些许可的一些木头，那木头就是可以永续利用的木头，所以不会伤害到环境。然后他们这个观念是在世界上其他的可能家具公司都还没有开始之前，他们已经应用了。他们就比较讲究那些，他们不想要使用一些伤害地球环境的一些材料啦。
So the basic principles of Mata is 3 things: design, craftsmanship, and ethics. So it has to be good design, and it has to be made in the best possible way as a product can be, and it has to have these environmentally friendly thoughts within making the product. It's all on this, and now you have me on tape. So you can and it's in the brochures. I will leave this master catalog for you that tells you a lot of things about the individual products, and also on the brochures you can find a lot of the same information. So even if you forget, I mean, you can always read it again, and it's always, I find it you work with design every day, and you know your customers. They like to hear the good story when they ask, why is this bar stool so much and this one over here is much cheaper? Well, there are many reasons, and these are part of it. We work with international designers, not just, these are just a few of them. We work with Danish designers. Todd Bracher and Michael Dreven are both American. Ayush Kashival is the Indian guy. Besides being a designer, he's also our QC. He's the quality control person who makes sure that even some of our products are produced in India, that everything is checked before packing, so we know when it reaches our warehouse in Denmark that it's okay. Thomas was part of the founding of Mader in the beginning. He was sort of a design assistant to the founder of the company. Signe and Peter are the ones who did the bar stool. They also do the trumpet coat stand you have. Søren lives in New York, but is Danish designer. He's designed some of the cabinets for us. And Böttcher and Hensler, they are German designers who has done a lamp for us. But besides them, we also have a Spanish design team called, I forgot what that is. It'll come to me in a second. We have a Finnish designer, a lady who does some lamps for us. So we're quite an international company, but based in Copenhagen in Denmark. Again, this is just what I've just said. It's just here in text about what FSC stands for, Forest Stewardship Council. And as an internationally recognized non-profit organization, but your wood, if it comes from plantations where it's replanted, then you can get their approval or their proof from them that this is FSC certified. If not, you don't know where it comes from. Another sustainable thing is how we look at workmanship. Some of our products in India are also made in a specific way in order to protect and help keep an old dying tradition active, like the bowl table. It comes from a traditional way of turning wood, which was dying out in the villages where they had this old traditional craft. But because we now make a product where they can use the same technique, there are more workplaces, there are actually more jobs. So it's also an added bonus to our look at ethics.
他说就是 maker 的话，他会像他不是印度那边有制作那个 bowl table 嘛，在楼下有陈列的。他说那个 bowl table 是印度他们村落里面已经快要失传的一个技法，那也是因为他们 maker 有就是使用他们这个产品，然后他们就等于保留下这个技法，因为他们就是专门制作那个 bowl table 嘛。然后在制作之外，他们不只是保留下来这个传统的一个工艺技法之外，他也对这个环境就是给他们一些利益，就提供很多工作嘛，工作机会，就等于是双赢的一个局面。
The first product Mader did, the first real piece of furniture. Actually, when they started, they also made plates, cups, and bowls from India and Cambodia. But that was the very, very first start of Mader. The first real furniture piece was the bar stool from 2007, designed by Signe Bindslev and Peter Rützau, or space design as they're called in Denmark. It was designed for a specific project. They are very famous for doing interiors of restaurants and bars and cafes. Have you heard of a restaurant in Denmark called Noma? It has been world #1 restaurant 3 out of the last 5 years. They did the interior for that. So they've done some very high-end, prestigious restaurants. But the bar stool was designed for something called it's called the Cake House. It's a bakery, but it's a chain of bakeries, like Starbucks, but also at a very high level for quality of the bread. And they did the bar stool specifically for that project.
然后说，其实 Maker 最一开始它的产品就是这个 bar stool， 它一开始起源就是因为这个 bar stool 的关系。那这个 stool 的话，它本来会设计是因为是一个专案设计，好像是一个连锁的专案吧。然后是刚才有讲过是 Space 这个设计师，他就是因为设计这个专案之后，然后他有这个椅子，大家觉得这个椅子就是很漂亮，不想要只在专案里面使用，就变成正式的一个产品，然后从此 Maker 就开始发展了，就是它主要的主打产品就是这个 bar stool。
It's available in 3 heights. You can have it in dark stained beech, dark stained oak, circa grey oak, and we just discussed there's a very small difference between dark stained oak and circa grey oak. The circa grey is a slightly darker color, but not much. And then you can get it in natural oak, soap treated, and then you can have it in aluminium also.
然后就这个 bar stool 它有很多种不同的材质跟3种高度。那刚刚在那个样品盒里面，它就有跟我们讲，就有很多不同的材质。那它有提到说 circa grey， 它是颜色是比较深一点，然后有点会比较有点那个灰绿绿的。对，但其实如果你乍看之下是觉得还蛮像的啦。所以假如对那个材质有问题的话，你可以直接看它那个材质板里面。
Together with the bar stool, the bowl tables are our biggest success today, until now. The bowl tables is designed by Ayush Kashiwal, the Indian partner we have. The shape of the bowl tables and the production method comes from traditional Indian bowls, not rice bowls, but food bowls where they prepared flour and whatnot. But again, a tradition that was dying out, so he thought it could be interesting to use the technique in this local community to create something new. And that's how the bowl table was made. It's made of mango wood. It's quite, when you lift them, you can feel it's a very lightweight wood. Mango has this, there's this about the mango tree that after a certain number of years, the the fruit becomes bitter, and maybe 8, 9, 10 years. And then normally the farmer would just chop the old one down, burn it, and plant a new one. We then use the wood for furniture, which makes good sense, because it's a beautiful wood with a lot of character to it. And we do it in 4 sizes and 3 colors: natural, the circa grey, and a dark stained.
这个 bowl table 刚刚有提到嘛，是印度它已经快要失传的一个技法，那就 Maker 觉得很有趣，所以他们就把这个技法运用在他们的产品里面。那 bowl table 其实它本来是印度一个传统专门装食物或者花的一个盘子嘛，一个盆子，它就以这个外形为基础，然后开始制作。那它制作的原料是用那个芒果木，然后他觉得芒果木的纹路啊，他们觉得很漂亮，然后它芒果木又很轻。那它芒果木在制作的时候是，因为它们本身就有种芒果在吃嘛，那芒果本身大概它种了大概可能7、8年或8、9年的时候，它水果会变得味道变难吃，那他们就会把那木头给砍掉。那这砍掉之后，他们其实也没有用，所以别人跟他们买，就把这些即将要砍掉的木头，就是作为他们的产品那些 bowl table 来使用。那这些砍掉的木头，被砍掉的时候，他们还会再栽种新的芒果木，所以这等于也是一个永续利用的概念。然后呢，这些其实 bowl table 它并不是，它运送的过程中是可以节约那个空间的，就是它不是有一个盘子嘛，下面有4只腿，那其实是可以拆掉的。所以你们收到的 bowl table 是一个盘子跟4只腿，就是很节省空间。然后 bowl table 它有4种尺寸，然后还有3个颜色。它也是现在就是它跟那个 stool 是并列于最畅销的产品的。
Another little feature is the legs are made of steel, and the steel comes from as a recycled metal from old machinery parts, car parts, and whatever. It's been reused and for the legs for those. And the lacquer we use, if there's lacquer on any of the furniture, it's always a water-based, lead-free lacquer that does not harm the environment.
然后它的脚是那个钢制作的，但这也是回收使用，从可能人家不要的机器啊，或者是门啊，只要你再回收利用做成他们的那个桌脚。然后它的使用的漆，就假如它有涂漆或者是有水溶性的漆，所以它不会对环境造成可能破坏或伤害。
Yeah, and there's just a picture of the largest one of the tables. Then we have the shell chair. Again, it's an American designer, Michael Draven. Again, he thought of using another old skill or traditional craft that was horse saddle making, which was also dying out in the community that he had visited. So he thought this could make sense to reuse the technique in a piece of furniture. And the design takes you back to the 1920s and 30s, and very old-fashioned sitting chairs, chair designs. And the chair is done in natural leather, which is exactly what is used for the horses, for the saddles, and the black leather. The natural one is a little bit more expensive than the black one. And we do it in a lounge chair and a dining conference chair size. And just recently, I'll show you later in the other presentation, we just launched a bar stool in the same family.
这是一个美国设计师他制作的，那他是在这椅子外形看起来像是大概可能1920年代左右的一个设计，它这个外形像一个马鞍，也是一个失传的一个技法。那他们设计师也觉得说，这个技法都已经失传，那么不如把它就设计成一个产品好了，就照着马鞍的形状来制作这个椅子。然后这椅子的话，它皮革也是使用天然的皮革，那就是旁边不是有一个比较没有就普通没有颜色的那个皮革，但是价格比较贵。那一般那种黑色就价格会稍微便宜一点。
Yeah, and as everything else, we do 3 colors: black, circa gray, and natural oak, all in oak. The boxes behind on this picture are also made of mango, and they're simply a stackable box system for storage or for putting them on the floor as a coffee table in different heights. I've seen that used also, but all in mango, in the 3 colors.
那后面那些就是盒子，那其实也都是芒果木制作的。那个你可以堆积成就不同的造型，你可以当个使用当成边机，你也可以多个使用，像储藏柜一样。然后这个 show chair 它总共有3种颜色，然后还有就3种不同的材质，就到时候你们可以再看一下它的 PowerPoint 里面的。
And there's the lounge version, and you can see the difference, the dining size. Cloudy, I'm going to skip this one because this is discontinued. We have a new one. This was an original lounge chair, but we have actually raised it up so it's become more like the chair you sit in, and then with a leather pad. But I have some pictures of it, and I'll show you.
这个是旧版的，旧版就是那 lounge chair 比较矮一点，然后现在他们有新版的，这个也没有再继续生产，所以就打算直接跳过，然后新版的时候继续讲解。
Tao is a lamp designed by a Finnish girl, Finnish designer. We met her in Milan 2 years ago, where she was part of a school project where a lot of young designers had done something. And Henrik, who owns Mader, fell in love with this lamp immediately. It looks like an acorn, and we have a lot of acorns in Scandinavia. And it's actually some products. You can see that the designer have had a good time, and they just make you smile, like the green horse frog hippopotamus standing downside in the Nordic section. But I also always smile when I see this. It's actually cute, if you can say that. It's a frosted glass lamp with a solid wood top made of alder wood, which is a Nordic wood similar to beech and birch.
他说这个设计师是荷兰的一个女设计师。那当初他们在2年前米兰展的时候遇到他的时候，他其实正在进行可能一个学生作业一个展览吧。那时候他们看到这个灯，他们觉得很特殊、很漂亮，他们就请他来设计。这个灯的话，它这边是只有写2种尺寸，它其实有3种尺寸，一个小、中、大。那它的这个它这个就是盖子嘛，是就实木制作。他说这个木材是他们北欧一个特色的一个木 elder 木，是很接近可能桦木的材质。然后它的玻璃就是它的灯罩是口吹玻璃，对，然后它的外形会很像是那种橡果灯，所以其实我们好像是写橡果灯嘛，对。他说荷兰，不是荷兰，北欧很多类似这种就是会心一笑的设计。
And since this picture, the line has been extended with a bigger one than the small and the medium size. So now there's actually three different sizes. This is the German design team, Böttcher and Hensler, who designed these small pendants. They're made of cork, like in your wine bottle. And we do them in natural cork and in dark brown. Cork is also, well, you think, well, cork it comes from a wood, from an oak tree. And it's a substract from the tree. You can't just take it all out, then the tree will die. And the cork oak grows up to 200 years. But they have discovered that you can actually harvest the wood, or the cork from the wood without hurting it. So about every 8 or 9 years, you can take some out, and the tree will continue growing. So it's really sustainable. I mean, and then we realized the designer realized this was a really nice material to work with as a lamp, with this very environmentally friendly approach, and that's why these came about.
然后这是一个德国设计师设计的灯种，然后它的使用的材料是叫那种软木，就是我们的木塞这种软木嘛。它这种木头也是就是可以永续利用，它的生长周期大概200年。那因为它大概每9年左右，你就可以把它就是像栽培一样，9年之后你可以把它砍一些下来，然后你再让它继续长，那也不会伤害到它的本质。那因为这设计师觉得说这个木头它本来就很设计作为灯的可能就是灯具使用，那它也不会伤害到环境，所以他决定使用这个软木作为它的设计灯具的一个材料。
The trumpet coat stand, also designed by Space, the people who did the bar stool, and we do it in solid black stained, dark stained beech, and in aluminium. And the aluminium is also a recycled aluminium from old machine parts and car parts and so forth, both made in India.
这个也都是在印度制作的产品，然后这是一个挂衣架吧，它有2种材质，一种是铝，一种是桦木，黑桦木。然后它这铝的材质也是使用那个回收利用那种铝的材料，然后它因为它的形状其实很像喇叭，那喇叭就是它每一个挂钩你其实可以自己组合，看你要怎么样把它组上去，对，所以它设计感其实还蛮重、很实用的一个产品。
And a nice little feature with this is that the customer can play with it like they want to. There are these 9 trumpets, but you can position them where you like, so it's really up to you to have fun with that.
他说这也是一个很有趣的家具，因为它每个喇叭的长短其实不太一样，所以你可以随你自己的一个兴趣或者你的喜好自己来排列组合。
A little collection of what we call the lounge collection, with a few of the lamps, the lounge chairs, the low bar stool, bowl tables, and the box cabinets.
那这就是 Maker 它的目前手下的一些系列产品，把它组合起来，大概就是这个样子。
And the dining collection, the shade lamps, all handmade from India. The table called the mill table, and it's called that because, again, recycled metal for the legs, and the tabletop is made of old building parts. Originally the first ones were taken from old spinning mills where you made textiles. That's why we call it the mill table. And it's the original teak wood, maybe 50 to 100 years old. So it's full of cracks and it's unfinished underneath, but it's just a very characteristic and very special table.
他说这个桌子也是利用那种资源回收的一些材料，那这木头好像是模仿还是什么，或者一些古老的建筑，他们拆掉的时候那些木材啊，他们就会把它给取过来，然后再重新制作这些那个桌子啊，它从桌角到它的桌板都在利用。那因为每个旧的木板可能制作的过程或者它生产的可能存在的时候都受不同的影响，它颜色、色泽或者纹路都长得很不一样，那这也是它的一个独特的特色。
We sell a lot of furniture to private people, to private homes, but we also have quite a lot of references from projects we have delivered. Many hotels, bars, restaurants, cafes, that type of thing. And here's just a couple of them. You can find more on our website. This is from a restaurant in Amsterdam in Holland. another Dutch project. We actually have a couple of kitchen companies in Denmark that also use the bar stool for their own projects. And there's a whole line of them. Just some of the recent ones that we have done.
他说，就 Maker 的产品啊，不止就是卖给一些可能居家空间啊，他也卖给很多专案，像刚刚讲的很多一些饭店啊，或者餐厅啊，甚至那些他都在北欧那边有些厨具产品的一个品牌，他们也会使用他们的 bar stool 作为他们专案里面的这个主要设计。那就是上面有一些名称，假如你们有兴趣，你们可以自己去查一下。
Now I needed to, I've moved to the other one, but. Do you have any questions for the first part?
可以吗？有那种我们讲很奇怪的地方，都没有问题吗？还是你们有没有贩卖的时候遇到什么客人问的问题，也可以一起问？那还没有吗？是不平是指说他的脚没有完全的连在地上，还是说摆在那边会不平？就是它会摇来摇去。
我们现场门市那几张都不平，
所以才没有卖出去嘛。
仓库有卖仓库的，然后会请他们出货前要设置好的部位，然后我们里面也是自用羊毛3垫，再把它再垫上去才会平。把那个像那个瓷的地板上面就都会晃，因为它原本椅子下面会有白色那个垫片，然后它如果没有我们在粘那个羊毛衫的时候，它都会有晃。我不知道是可能做工还是
我们台湾地板很
没有，
对不对？
我不知道它很多位置都有。
我们那边会吗？你们那边是稳的，对啊。
那我问问看。
放在很多位置，每一种放在这里，放在哪里都是都对。
He said that the bar stool is
个案问题。
不知道，我先问问看好了。He said the bar stool is unbalanced because when they put on the floor is like shake away. So they wondering is the legs
They should be even because before they pack them, it goes on a table with one leg sticking out. So and then there's a saw that sort of makes sure that they are flush.
Because this is the store downstairs. It doesn't balance.
Let's take a look afterwards because, of course, we have had 2 manufacturers. First in India, but because of the success, we moved the production to Europe because the Indian can only make maybe 1,000 chairs a year.
So maybe that's because those parts are made in India.
It could be because they were more individual. They were all they were definitely handmade. So thank you. Yeah, we'll check it afterwards because they should be. Yeah.
因为这bar stool之前是在一家是在印度制作，印度的工厂，另外一家在就是欧洲的工厂制作。那他在讲说可能是印度就是制作的品质稍微控管上面没有那么好，就比较太有特色一点。然后一般在出厂之前，其实他们都会把一个机器上面，然后他们会看出那个脚是不是都平稳，那不平稳应该就是不能通过他们的检测。那等一下我们就会到楼下直接看到底是什么原因，那他会就直接去可能那边上报告。
We will check. Okay, I just thought it could be interesting for you to see what is coming from Meta from now on before we finish. Because we, of course, get contacts from architects and designers all the time. And sometimes we also just find something that we really like. The founder of the company, he likes, when he visits a furniture fair, he spends a lot of time looking for new talent. And often the newly educated designers, or even from their schools, have exhibitions. That's how we found the Finnish designer with the lamps, for example. So we spend a lot of time looking for who could be the next Mader designer.
就是他们会在可能在展览的时候啊，或者可能毕业季上面看学生的他们制作的作品，然后他们觉得有兴趣的，会觉得有可能他未来才会有大卖的可能性的时候，他们就跟他签合约，他们就到处挖掘那些有可能的新星，那就可能跟摸影有点像，他们就会到处发掘有才能的一些新人。
And now I just said that, and now I show you something from 1957. So it's really paradox, but we in the 50s in Denmark we had a big chain, and we still have them, a big chain of grocery stores called the Co-op, a cooperative. But they were also furniture makers. They had a big furniture manufacturing plant, and a lot of designers worked for them. We found some chairs that used to be made by the Co-op back in the 50s and 60s that we thought design-wise could fit into the Mader philosophy. And one example is this one, which is a very nice, classic-looking, typical Scandinavian dining chair in solid oak and with natural webbing. Available in 4 versions, an all-natural one, the Circa Grey. Again, we use the Mader colors: natural, Circa Grey, and black. Black one with black webbing or with natural webbing. So that's the options for this one. And there is an armchair related to it, exactly the same version. Very comfortable chair actually, even though it looks a little hard with the spoke backs and the webbing seats. And
好像他自己他刚刚说他们一向都喜欢挖掘新人，可是他说他现在讲话跟他刚刚讲的有点矛盾，因为他现在介绍的其实是在1950、1960年代的一个产品。那在那个时候，其实，在北欧那边有很多，可能是他是 grocery， 应该是杂货店吧。那他们就有一个叫什么 Co-op 的一个集团，还是一个公司之类的。那他们本身就很多就是手工艺的工厂，他们本身就很会因为丹麦人他们本身就是传统很会制作那些木工手工，然后他们这椅子就是他们这样的情况下制作的一些比较经典的产品。那在他的椅垫那边，它也是手工编织的一个技法，然后还有4种不同的可能样式，那还有也分了4种不同的样式之外，还有2种，一种就是 dining chair， 一种就是一般的那个就这样 lounge chair。
And a third one from this family is from 1967, more of a plywood chair, but again a chair sold through the Co-op back in the 60s and 70s. And we think this again fits quite nicely into the collection, maybe even more, a little bit more commercial than the other chairs we have in the line.
然后这个也是跟刚刚那2张椅子是属于同一个系列的，那也是比较符合可能 Mader 他刚刚之前讲的一些设计理念。不过他说这个张椅子可能比较偏向于商业化，但他觉得这个效果，他这个设计的外形其实也是很不错的。
This was the cloudy chair I talked about, was discontinued. This is the new version. It's more upright. It's still quite comfortable also to relax in. And then it has a permanent leather seat that also gives it a little bit more comfort than the original one.
他说这个就是刚刚我们提到的那个 cloudy chair， 然后他现在就是新的版本，他把他的椅子整个高度就座椅高度提升，这样坐起来比较舒服之外，他其实他旁边的框也稍微把它弄窄一点。然后他之前他的椅垫那边就是木头嘛，他现在是增加为有皮革的椅垫，所以增加它的舒适度。那相信这样对客人接受度会更高的。
Spanish designer. The studio is called Stones. That's what I forgot before. I just thought of it.
这是西班牙的设计师，他刚刚忘记那个 stone 的一个设计。
And that's the bar stool version of the shell chairs. Very different from the one you have here in the showroom. With the back, of course, it's a little bit more comfortable when you sit for a long time.
就是刚刚我们看到那个 share chair 它的一个吧台椅的一个版本，然后它说这个坐起来的话也会比较舒服，因为它后面的椅垫跟我们自己公司里面的吧台椅不太一样。
A new lamp collection by the same designer who did the Acorn. We're not completely finished with developing, but by end of this year it will be ready, because we will exhibit this in the coming exhibitions in Germany in January, in Sweden in February, and Milano in April. Different colored glass shades, and then again solid wood top and with LED lighting inside.
然后这一款灯也是跟那个橡果灯是同一个设计师，是芬兰女设计师制作，但其实这个还在开发中。那他们相信在今年年底的时候应该可以把它完成，他们还在选它的那个颜色的一个漆料。然后它这个灯的话其实是 LED 灯，然后上面那个盖子也是实木盖子。然后他们在明年，因为明年他们就要参展，可能在1月在德国，2月在可能瑞典，然后4月份在米兰，他们都会参展，所以他们一定要赶快把它完成。
You have the dome lamp already. This is a new version in solid brass, so it'll be a little bit heavier than the ones you have, and also a little bit more expensive. But very unique. It's a very popular lamp for us, and I think this will be a nice addition to the collection.
这个其实我们本身就有接它那个 dome 的这个桌灯，然后这个桌灯是新的版本、新的颜色，就是因为之前它其实那个铜色啊是涂上去的漆，它里面并不一定是铜，它这个是从头到尾它的材质都是铜，所以它本身比较坚固，但也是会比较重一点，因为它是全部金属嘛。然后它价格上面也会比较贵，但是因为你看它设计感是其实比较有点工业设计的一个概念，所以也是一个不错的新设计。
And, well, with the success of the bowl table, we thought we would do something which was a little bit more Scandinavian looking, using the same legs, but a solid oak tabletop. So more plain, straightforward. To those who don't want the bowl look, that's a nice option. And we do it in two sizes, 75 and 46 centimeters.
这个桌子的话，其实它的概念就跟我们的 bowl table 是很像的，跟印度的一样。然后他们打算做成一个更有北欧风味的一个概念，然后所以它桌脚还是一样的，就是可能那个钢制做的，只是它的桌板是实木制作，就很简单的一个木板，那就少了旁边那一圈东西。然后还有2种大小，一个是可能75公分，一个是46公分。
And these are same, and you know the website. If there's anything else you need, you can always hopefully find it there. This is more comprehensive, and if you need to see something again that I already said, it should be in here, and I hope I didn't say anything wrong. So this is for you. You have any questions? Shoot.
你们还有什么其他问题？可能就是 maker 产品的问题，或客人问到，或者是可能安装突然发生什么瑕疵品。
有那个椅子啊，就是这个很赶，很多客人稍微轻踩，它就会掉下来。
掉下来，那可以再插
上去，可是就是会觉得客人就会觉得观感不好，就是他只轻踩，制作的时候脚轻踩它就掉了。对，客人就会觉得很品质不是就是
我觉得品质有问题。
就是觉得会卖的不便宜，然后又是标榜的都是欧美的品牌，然后它的工
没有那感觉没有那么细。
对，观感就会不好，对，蛮容易掉的。
He was saying that there are some clients try to sit on the stool, but this part will drop off when they put their leg on. So and I think that the item is made in Europe. but the price is expensive, but why the quality is not that good.
Did it fall off?
Yeah, just fall off, but they can put it together again, but
No, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't fall off.
No. We Mater had the first new supplier we tried was actually based in Denmark,
Yes.
called Quist Industries, and they were producing in a short period. But we found out that the edge in the footrest fell off.
Yeah, fall off.
So we changed to the Slovenian, the new one.
So it might produce in the...
We only made 400 bar stools.
Might be one of the 400.
Yes, because it should not fall off.
Oh, so that was a defect one.
You get a new one. You have to tell us when that happens, because
这是瑕疵品哎。
然后它掉下来之后，发现它其实不深诶，它只有稍微轻卡而已，它没有卡得很深。
哦。
对。
This part doesn't lock pretty well.
No.
It's pretty several for the legs.
yeah, but it's not something that should happen.
Yeah, so
So-
it's not.
You have to tell it. We will replace them immediately.
I heard this question right away. I don't know.
No, because we have been looking. It happened 2 years
Oh,
ago,
really?
and we found most of them. A lot of them ended up in Australia for hotel projects.
Oh, so
About 50, so they were replaced.
So it might be one of.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, because they didn't tell me before, so I don't know.
No, and this is the bar stool is now 8 years old, since first one, and this is the only series. It's one series. It's like if a car production from a certain period has a problem with a brake.
Yeah, because they said it is normal, so they didn't report it to me. It's normal, so I'll let them do it.
Yeah.
Report to me.
Please, and let us know what finish and how many, and your customers should have new one.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. 总共有几张这样的椅子？这是不该存在的。
楼下有2张有跟鞋子都是踩会就掉一边，
就是你说会
它不是完全掉，掉一边。
然后它椅子这边也不稳嘛？
对，也有。
不稳，然后会掉。那因为可能就同一家厂商做的，就是它这椅子已经有8年，然后中间从来没有遇过类似的问题，刚好在中间换供应商的时候，这家厂商制作的400张椅子都有问题。然后之前大部分是瑕疵品都是在可能澳洲那边一个专案发生的。然后他说他们在2年前发现这个问题，那中间陆续有人就是跟他们可能报告这个事情。那我们假如现在碰到的话，他说不管是客人的或者是我们自己的可能陈列品、库存品发生这种问题，我们都会换一个新的。对，所以看你们到时候你们可能台中星光或哪边发生这个问题，要跟我讲。对 ，Thank you。
Well, thank you for listening to me. So now I can take this off again.
Thank you.